All right, guys, just wanted to walk you through my sea moss preparation, just show you the process that I use to make my sea moss. For those that are interested, I personally use this Caribbean flavors dried sea moss, Irish moss. You can find this on Amazon. I'll add a link to the product page on Amazon to my blog page. So if anybody's interested in finding it, you can find it also at a lot of the health food specialty stores as well to find the fresh sea moss that I use. All right, so my first process after I take the sea moss out of the package, I personally don't use an entire package. It makes a whole lot of the sea moss. So I take the dried sea moss in a bowl and I just try to thoroughly wash it. Once again, it's coming from the sea, so it's going to be salty or have that sea salt to it. So I just kind of thoroughly wash it for maybe 1 to 2 minutes. Just kind of use my hands to brush through it and go through that process. All right, so after I've kind of washed the sea moss thoroughly, still in the bowl, I just kind of fill the bowl up with some water. As you can see, the sea moss has been dried, so it's pretty flat. And I'll let it soak in water overnight, or maybe I say 4 to 5 hours at a minimum. But overnight works best, and you'll see when you come back and check it after that time period, the sea moss will swell and take in the water, so it'll look very different. But some fresh water in there, and I'll just cover it with a top and let that sit overnight. All right, now that the sea moss has been sitting in water overnight, let's see how it looks here. All right, so now you can see a big difference. Before it was dry and very flat. Now it's been soaking in water, so it's kind of taken in and absorbed a lot of the water. So now it's starting to look more like actual seaweed type plant if you walked across it in the ocean or something like that. So we'll take this and then go to our next step. All right, so then I'm gonna take the sea moss that was sitting overnight in the water. I'm gonna place it in a blender cup. The Ninja um, blender is what I use. You can use any kind of blender; it doesn't really matter. But I'm just gonna place the sea moss in the cup and then add maybe a cup and a half of water to it and just blend it. All right, so now that the sea moss and water has been blended together, now you start to have that kind of gel-like consistency. I then throw it back in a glass jar or container, and then I throw it in the refrigerator for a couple hours, and it'll get more gel-like and little better consistency. But you can consume it just like this, fresh out of the blender. But if you do throw it in the refrigerator, it'll um, become more gel-like. All right, so we have the fully prepared sea moss ready to go. This is where people who are a little more creative get creative. They add ginger, cinnamon, or different types of flavorings to make it taste a little bit more flavorful. I personally just will take a spoonful and swallow it, or I add some to teas or fruit smoothies, but you can pretty much put it in whatever you want to consume. You can use it as a egg substitute. So when you're doing baking for muffins, breads, pies, things like that, you can use the sea moss as a alternative. You can add coconut milk to the sea moss and make your pina coladas with it. You can do so many different things, or like I said, just take a spoonful every day and take it straight to the head, like a good morning kind of shot, just to get your daily consumption in. All right, so here is the very finished product after making the sea moss and letting it refrigerate for a couple hours, and you have your sea moss gel ready to be used for um, daily consumption. Whether you take a spoonful, swallow it whole, or you put it in a smoothie, or use it as a egg substitute with baking goods, or however else you choose to consume it. But here is the finalized product and the consistency, typically what you'll find with prepared sea moss.